Good morning, and welcome to your morning cereal.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Thursday. Well, it's the day after the midweek and it's the day before Friday on a short week. So if you really think about it, today should be hump day and tomorrow should be Thursday. Either way, that's getting too confusing. I'll take a short week any day and welcome Friday tomorrow. But first, well, it's National Mount Everest Day, and that's commemorating the first successful summit back in 1953. Climbing Everest? Difficult. Climbing out of bed this morning? Nearly impossible. And also requiring a big celebration today is it's National Paperclip Day, which means it's time to show some love to the office MVP. And let's not sleep on all the things that we MacGyver with paperclips. Oh, and if you're feeling a little bit wild today or just love big lizards, it's National Alligator Day too. So pucker up, Buttercup. Actually, just run fast. Well, today's quote is from someone who might wear crocodile boots, and I'm speaking of rocker Gwen Stefani, who said, "Being honest and real and sensitive is what makes people attractive," end quote. And Gwen is reminding us that authenticity beats perfection. Whether you're navigating a career pivot, parenting, or just picking a playlist for your commute, showing up as yourself is still the power move. Well, today's news, facts, and birthdays are for May 29th. And we're going to start back in 1886 when on this date, American pharmacist John Pemberton, he began to advertise his patented medicine, Coca-Cola, in Atlanta, Georgia. Then in 1917 on this date, this was the birthday of the late President John F. Kennedy. Then skipping up to 1942 on this date, that's when Bing Crosby, he recorded White Christmas, which would become the best-selling Christmas single in history. Now, I might need to fact check that. I'm pretty sure Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas is up there too. I'll get back to you on it. Then lastly, in 1953, as we mentioned earlier, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, they became the first climbers to reach the summit of Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. Well, happy birthday to you. If today is your birthday, you share a birthday with Melanie Brown. She's also known as Scary Spice from the Spice Girls. She turns 50 today. Noel Gallagher, the lead guitarist and songwriter for Oasis, he celebrates his 58th birthday today. Then Melissa Etheridge, she's a Grammy-winning rock singer-songwriter. She's 63 today. And lastly, Danny Elfman, he's a composer. You would know a lot of his work. He worked on The Nightmare Before Christmas, and you would definitely know he was the one who did the Batman theme. He turned 71 today. Well, the number one song on this date back in 2005 was Holla Back Girl by Gwen Stefani. Now, this track marks Stefani's first solo number one single in the United States, and it showcased her transition from No Doubt's frontwoman to a solo pop, I guess what we'll call an icon at this point. Now, the song's catchy cheerleader chant and its minimalist production made it a standout hit of the year, and Gwen says of this song that it was like her fight song. And when asked what the true meaning of the song is, Gwen says she would never say what it is, but she would only say, and this is a quote, "I won." Well, we're all winners here because we're in the middle of diving into Stephen R. Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And today we're focusing on part 2, habit 2, re-scripting, becoming your own first creator. And Covey invites us to take a hard look at the inner scripts that govern our lives, those mental narratives often written by others that we unconsciously follow. Now, these scripts are shaped by our upbringing, our experiences, and our emotional triggers. And unless we challenge them, they quietly dictate our responses and our actions, and even our sense of identity. So we cannot forget that we are self-aware creatures, and we are also capable of imagination, having conscience. As such, Covey says that we have an incredible potential within each of us because self-awareness, when combined with imagination and conscience, quote, empower us to write our own script, end quote. Covey recalls the story of King Farouk in Egypt, who, despite his wealth and his power, he lived a hollow life driven by external symbols of success. And it was only later in his life, even after being in prison, that he actually realized the deeper truth of success. Quote, "Real success is success with self. not with the trappings of status or achievement, end quote. And that's the foundation of this chapter. Before we can achieve public victories, we must first rewrite the private scripts that define how we see ourselves. Many of us carry ineffective scripts handed to us by our parents, by teachers, or these social norms today. And they're scripts that often say we're not enough, that our value is tied to productivity, or that we're too old or too broken to change. And these scripts, they lead us to react instead of act, to shrink instead of grow. And we become so tangled in problems and daily pressures that we lose touch with the values that we once held dear. Covey points out that when we become problem-centered rather than principle-centered, our true priorities get buried, and we end up chasing urgency instead of meaning. So what's the good news here? We have the power to re-script or shift our paradigms. The process of re-scripting then is about peeling back those layers of limitation and rediscovering the core values that inspire us. It's about shifting from a mindset bound by a limited past to one empowered by a limitless potential. Quote, our most important work, Covey writes, is always ahead of us, never behind us. So when we operate from vision and values rather than wounds and habits, we gain the clarity to create a new internal blueprint. When we get too buried under those layers of problems and to-do lists, we tend to lose sight of those values and we become reactive. That's when our interactions with our children or our spouse or our friends and family, our coworkers, at times, those reactions do not reflect or even resemble what our core values are or the way we actually feel about them. Instead, tie yourself to your limitless potential instead of your limiting past. Okay, here's the takeaway. You are not your past. You are your potential. Re-scripting is the act of rising above old definitions of yourself and authoring a life based on intentionality, principle-centered choices. It's a conscious decision to live forward with meaning. And just like King Farouk learned, true victory is not conquering the world, but mastering yourself first. Okay, that wraps up today's episode of Morning Cereal. And as you navigate your Thursday, remember that you have the power to reshape, re-script your life's narrative. Also remember that kissing alligators is a bad decision. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Morning Cereal podcast on the One Life Live It channel. You can find more episodes and videos by visiting our YouTube channel and the website at Sean Inglis and at SeanInglis.com, where you can also follow our other podcasts, the Mr. and Mrs. Inglis podcast and the Life Happens podcast. In these other podcasts, we'll dive deeper into everyday issues, self-improvement and well-being, business and finance, and we welcome special guests too. So join us. It'll be a good time, I promise. Thanks again for listening. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow.